Rain poured, mirroring the tears cascading down Amelia's face. Her phone slipped from her grasp, clattering onto the pavement. The words of the officer echoed in her ears, each syllable a fresh wave of agony. Hit and run, dead on arrival, I'm so sorry. None of it felt real. Her Liam gone. They were supposed to meet for dinner. He was running late, as usual, his infectious laugh echoing down the phone line as he apologized profusely. Now, that laughter was a haunting memory, a cruel reminder of what she had lost. The world seemed to crumble around her, the vibrant city fading to a dull, lifeless gray. His scent lingered on her sweater, a phantom embrace that brought fresh tears to her eyes. Each shared joke, every stolen kiss, every dream they had woven together, now tattered fragments in the tapestry of their love. He was the sun in her sky, and without him, she was lost in an endless cold night. Amelia clutched his favorite scarf to her chest, the one he had jokingly complained was too itchy, but wore with a smile because she had knitted it herself. The world kept spinning, oblivious to her pain, but Amelia's own world had stopped. Right there on that rain-soaked sidewalk, a piece of her died with Liam. Mark watched from afar, hidden in the shadows across the street. He saw the color drain from Amelia's face, saw her legs give way, saw the raw, unfiltered grief that ripped through her. A flicker of satisfaction, twisted and bitter, crossed his face. He'd been watching Amelia for months, his heart a tangled mess of longing and resentment. She was supposed to be his. He had imagined them together countless times, her hand in his, her laughter filling his days. But Amelia had eyes only for Liam, her love for him radiating like a beacon, blinding Mark to all else. Jealousy, a venomous serpent, coiled around his heart, squeezing out any remnants of reason. Liam's death was no accident. Mark had meticulously planned it, his obsession festering into a deadly resolve. He had followed Liam for weeks, learning his routines, waiting for the perfect opportunity. The screech of tires, the sickening thud, the look of terror on Liam's face, it was all burned into his memory. He convinced himself that this was for the best, that he was saving Amelia from a love that blinded her to his own affections. But deep down, buried beneath the layers of self-justification, a seed of doubt sprouted. Was this love or something far more sinister? He pushed the thought away, seeking solace in the belief that soon, Amelia would be his. Weeks blurred into months. Amelia moved through life in a daze. The vibrant woman she once was now a shadow, her laughter silenced, her eyes reflecting a deep, unending sadness. Friends and family tried to console her, their words washing over her like the tide, leaving behind only emptiness. One day, while going through Liam's belongings, she stumbled upon a note he had written, a love letter meant for their anniversary. His words, filled with adoration and promises of a future together, pierced through her numbness, reawakening the pain but also igniting a spark of anger. Liam was gone, taken from her in the cruelest way possible. Grief, once a suffocating blanket, began to transform into a steely resolve. She wouldn't let Liam's death be in vain. She wouldn't let his killer walk free. She would find out who took him from her, and she would make them pay. Amelia started by retracing Liam's last steps, talking to his colleagues, piecing together the events that led to his death. She learned about Mark, a man who had been strangely interested in her, a man Liam had warned her about. The police had dismissed him as a harmless admirer, but Amelia's instincts screamed otherwise. She delved deeper, her grief fueling her determination, transforming her from a woman shattered by loss into a force to be reckoned with. The confrontation was tense, the air thick with unspoken accusations and simmering rage. Amelia stood face to face with Mark, her eyes burning with a fire that chilled him to the bone. Gone was the fragile, heartbroken woman he thought he could manipulate. In her place stood a warrior, her spirit forged in the fires of grief and vengeance. "You killed him," she stated, her voice devoid of emotion, a flat blade slicing through the silence. Mark stammered, trying to deny it, but the words caught in his throat. He had underestimated her, mistaking her kindness for weakness. He had expected tears, pleas for mercy, anything but this icy calm. She knew. And in that moment, he realized the depth of his mistake. Amelia didn't need to raise her voice, didn't need to resort to violence. The truth was etched on her face, in the way she held herself, in the unwavering gaze that held him captive. She had become the embodiment of justice, and her presence alone was enough to bring him to his knees. "Liam was right about you," she whispered, her voice laced with disgust. "You're not a man worthy of love. You're a monster." With that, she turned and walked away, leaving Mark to face the consequences of his actions. The police had been watching, alerted by Amelia's findings. As they moved in to apprehend him, Amelia didn't look back. Her heart ached with a loss that would never fully heal, but there was a sense of closure, of justice served. Liam's memory, and the love they shared, would be her guiding light. a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope and courage could prevail.